Every day, people like you and me witness paranormal activity. Many people suffer alone, afraid of telling their stories. Their encounters remain locked away, like skeletons tapping lightly on a closet door. Join me, Blake Lewis, as we peel back the veil of our reality, searching through silence. Good evening, children of the night. I am joined today with a very special guest, Alicia Jones, who is going to be a part of this program here with me. It's going to be more open-ended, less of a direction or a directive for that matter. It's just whatever we end up thinking of, just fucking go with it.
Talk our faces off.
I'm down. We're going to try to keep on topic as best that we can. Try not to sway too far off. But with that in mind, tonight's little conversation, I do want to actually start out with some paranormal type of atmosphere. I want to try to keep it as close to the chest as possible. Mm-hmm. What I'm already well versed in, instead of just stretching my antenna outside of my haunted means that I've normally been portraying out there from my own subconscious.
Calls to your soul.
Yeah. Have you ever had in your real life, other than when you met me, any paranormal event or activity that had happened?
That's interesting. I want to say yes, but I've never been as, aware of it. Especially in my own house. Like that clacking in my room all the time. I've had that for years. Since I met you. You were like, nope, that's a ghost.
And that's been so, it just happens more frequently.
Yeah,
and
now that I know.
During just the absolute best time that it can kick into any one of our conversations whenever we're talking about something.
In the middle of our sentences.
Yeah.
I've had it in the garage too, when I'm alone.
Really?
At night? In the garage, yeah, before I met you, when I would just play video games in there. Even if I had headphones on, I'd hear little stuff like that, in the ceiling, on the walls. I'm just it's an old house. It's probably just the wind, creaking, I never,
bangs and creaks, but
yeah.
Now, okay. But I'm talking about the shit, when we were watching, what the hell?
Bro, how about that Christmas Eve day, too? When we were hearing, walking upstairs.
Oh, yeah, I know. But that was, full-fledged stomping.
Yeah, and it was not the cat. Because usually it's the cat upstairs, running around.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
That was walking. Well, I mean, just your floor in general
has creaky, yeah.
Very loud sounds to when people put their heels down. And, I mean, I could hear people walking around up there even when it's 3 a.m. and if somebody has to wake up to go take a piss, I can hear doof, doof, doof.
Yeah.
Sounds like Frankenstein's walking through your fucking house.
No, it's an older house. But that's why I never really paid attention to it, it's just an older house. But, I mean, I always, as a child, too, always felt like I was being watched at night, so I always slept with, like, my blanket, like, pretty much over my head. Like, covering my eyes.
I've brought this up a couple of times in the past. I always thought it was so crazy. When I was younger, I felt like my fucking blanket was a shield.
Yeah! Like, for some reason, it's just protective when you're a kid, and you're just like, okay, no one's touching me now.
Yeah, like nothing can get me when I'm underneath of this fucking magical blanket.
They do that in movies, too.
Yeah, no. They even represent in some movies, especially like Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That is a movie that you actually hadn't seen. Mm-hmm. They portray Freddy Krueger in that movie as a demon. Ooh. A demon that was tormenting Wes Craven, and Wes Craven was creating a movie about it. And then the demon in the movie wanted to get more energy, and the only way that it was capable of feeding off of more energy was latching on to the imagery of Freddy Krueger and trying to attack the woman who played Nancy in real life.
What?
And was coming after her child and was trying to take her child down to a realm of hell.
Wow.
And it's
that's
pretty crazy.
Wow.
That, if you look at that movie like that instead of looking at it like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, people would tend to, be far more interested in the movie. But that movie is badass, and it gets overlooked, truthfully, when it comes to the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. How long ago was that? I'm not sure exactly when the movie came out. Like, what
time frame? Like, after all the original Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After all the comedic versions and, like, Freddy's Dead and shit like that, then all of a sudden, Wes Craven's New Nightmare is what that movie is called. Mm-hmm. It's not called A Nightmare on Elm Street. Mm-hmm. It was that he was trying to portray it like it was a separate entity. Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there when it comes to real paranormal activity, except for the fact that demons will do that shit.
Yeah.
They will utilize things that you are afraid of in real life to try to attack you within a dream state, and that's how come we have nightmares.
Yeah, definitely.
Nightmares is the biggest thing that demons can make sure that they try to manifest themselves into and feed off of while you are in your most energetically scared state.
You're just so vulnerable. You're, like, not really in control. As much as you are consciously. Awake, at least. But
and people, they don't really realize that when a demon or any type of entity that is staying around inside of a house begins to attack you in your dreams, and the more that they are capable of affecting your dreams, you will start out having terrible nightmares, and then it will then coincide with sounds in the rooms.
Right. Question, what about, like, people who have, like, really bad reoccurring nightmares? Is that just the same? Does that mean you're, like, weak, per se? Like, what is that?
I wouldn't say that it means that you're weak. I just think that it's potentially, well, depending on what the nightmare is actually consisting of.
Right.
Like, if it's you seeing somebody shooting you over and over in a dream, then
like death dreams.
Any death-oriented dream is to try to get you to put out as much energy as possible, because...
Like fear. Just fear, yeah.
Yeah. These entities feed off of fear. All of them do.
That's fucking scary. So it's like, the only way to stop that is to just, like, wake up to it, really. And just be like, this isn't real. I'm not scared of this. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people suffer from that.
And it doesn't help much that most of the time we're watching really crazy, scary horror movies that put us in the worst state of mind. And we go to sleep. Then we
you fucking love it.
Yeah, I live for that shit.
I know you do.
But
I never have. Until recently.
I still have to get you into watching some, like, really good scary movies.
Well, bro, Evil Dead was very good. But I think that
the
was
remake,
more...
Yes.
Yeah, that was more entertaining, more so than, like soul-wrecking, you know, like, really trembling my soul. I feel like more paranormal, like, possession-type shit.
This is why we had to get you to watch The Exorcist.
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
I'm excited.
I just gotta suck it up and be like, alright, fucking put it on. Right now.
Yeah. And there's also The Exorcist, or The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Is that just like a
that
sequel?
movie? Well, no. That is just based off of a true story again, and that movie fucked me up the first time I watched it. I was like,
really?
Whoa. Yeah. Anything with paranormal activity as well that is like spirits taking over your body, that is what affects me the most.
Same.
I can watch people getting their fucking heads lopped off and I'm okay.
See, one movie that really messed me up was Annabelle. And we've talked about this. There's just something about
Annabelle, though, that really triggered you.
It's just the look of dolls. I think that's all it is. Like, they are just so fucking creepy to me. And I will never understand how people, like, just like dolls. Like, I've never been into dolls. Every time I look at one, I feel like it's alive and staring back at me. And then when I watch a movie that happens, that really, like, fucked me up. As a little kid, I mean, I haven't seen that in years. It's probably not as scary as I made it out to be, but...
No. I'm right there with you. I've investigated dolls and had the creepiest shit happening within my own house.
Exactly.
I had to get rid of that doll just to get my activity to go down.
I just feel like it's so demonic.
Well, dolls themselves have been, in the past, spiritual vessels.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. Yeah.
That way, an entity will latch onto it and utilize it almost like a shell. Like, this is mine. I live in this thing. I feel like I'm kind of real. Oh, this little girl wants to give affection to this doll.
That's energy.
I want to take over the doll.
Exactly.
Because now she's giving affection to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I get creeped out about
Exactly. Me too.
But that's good shit, though.
I think the scariest thing about the paranormal in general is that if you dive into the wrong, just, like, entity, you could be fucked for life, like, cursed. Because I've heard of so many stories of people, like, just being in the wrong state of mind. I guess that has to do with it, too. But then, like, in the future, they couldn't have kids or something like that. Like, just, like, cursed.
Yeah. See, but I'm also believing that in those kind of scenarios, the entity is still around.
Right, so they attach to you.
So it's attached to them and capable of interfering with that birth cycle.
And I think
that life cycle.
That is the core fear of just the paranormal in general with people.
Yeah.
Because it is possible.
Unfortunately, there are thousands of fucking people who don't believe that the paranormal exists at all and that it's all in our subconscious, even though so many people share the same subconscious fears and the same exact imagery is being seen in nightmares by people all around the world.
Like people falling off cliffs or some shit.
Well, that's...
Like getting that feeling.
Yeah,
so many people get
falling.
that. Yeah.
Or why is it that every single person dreams some scary shit about a girl in a nightgown? Why is she always wearing a goddamn nightgown?
I don't think I've ever had that.
Well, there are a lot of people out there that have.
That just reminded me. Did I tell you that nightmare I had when I was a little kid?
No.
With all the dolls?
Definitely not, but
Oh
now I'm
my
intrigued.
God. I never. Oh my God. So you know how my upstairs, you see the hallway,
Yeah.
and you're sitting on the couch. Say I'm in the spot where we like sat on Christmas Eve. You know what I'm saying? Like on the backside, and it was late at night. My parents were on the side where they sit watching TV, and I was sitting with them. And all of a sudden, I look down the hallway. And now, when I was a little kid, I had this little bookshelf full of, like, all my stuffed animals. I didn't really have dolls. They were more like stuffed animals.
Yeah.
And a couple little, like, plastic things here and there. And all of them just, like, huddled. And had, like, I guess knives. They had red eyes. They were, like, screeching. And they were all just going down the hallway like slow as hell, like going to kill me. And I remember turning to my parents. I was like, Mom, Dad, help! And it was like I was through a tunnel. They didn't even see me. They weren't even, like, they were just staring at the TV like fucking programs. And I was like, help, they're coming for me. And then they reached like the stairs, and then I like woke up.
I have a question for you.
What?
Were you afraid of dolls after that or before that?
Ooh. I want to say after, I believe then. I've had that dream twice within that same week.
Yeah.
I haven't had it since, but I want to say after. What does that mean then? What if it was before? What would that mean?
Well, I'm saying if you were afraid of dolls before, then that could have been an entity utilizing one of your fears against you. Or it could have been that nightmare that whatever entity created to try to feed off of your subconscious mind.
Right.
Utilized dolls to frighten you.
Yeah.
And then that built a permanent fear within your own subconscious. Mm-hmm. And now you drug that into real life for whatever reason. You're just unhinged when you're looking at a doll.
It's just fucking freaky. I'm not like terrified of it, but I'm just like, I don't want to look at it, you know?
Yeah.
They're just fucking creepy, no matter what it is. Plastic dolls. So,
I mean, my biggest fear when it comes to paranormal is shadow figures. And that is only because I had a very personal experience where I was sleeping and I had, what seemed to be at least 6 of them surrounding my bed.
You've told me this, yes.
Yeah, and they were all encroaching on me all at one time, and I went into a panic state, and I had them groping at me and reaching. It felt like reaching into the top of my, like the crown of my head.
Right.
And I felt a shitload of electronic, like, waves or, like, pulsing in there
through your body,
and it felt like very long fingers were like digging into the top of my head, and like, yeah, it was so like fucking grinding. Awkward. And anyway, so I had in that moment, I was crying out loud, and I was like begging out to God, like, please help me, God, like, because when you're in that type of a situation,
that's all you can do.
Yeah. And then it randomly stopped, and then I was trying to get up, and then I felt a pressure pull me back down into bed, and then I tried to fight through the pressure, and then it pulled me back down into bed, and then kind of held me there, and I felt slightly paralyzed, but I could still move.
Yeah.
And I then heard, like, in my thoughts, a woman's voice start to tell me, calm down. And then it said, God loves you, Blake. And then I started crying, and I passed the fuck out. And then I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, was that a fucking nightmare? Like, that couldn't have been real.
Yeah.
Was that real? And I still will always, initially, I struggled with it a lot, but I will always remember that completely, detail for detail. I can remember what the pain felt like and feel the pain in my own mind again, because I can relive even what the pain felt like.
Wow.
And it was like ultra migraine type of feeling, pain. Yeah. It was frightening as fuck.
That is traumatic.
But that was, believe it or not, all of that started stemming after I initially started paranormal investigating.
Really? So you were really open at that moment.
Yeah.
Well, you were sleeping, right?
Well, I was trying to lay down to go to sleep. That's
so
how
you
come
were probably in sleep paralysis, that state where you are sleeping, but your consciousness is still awake.
Yeah. Like,
your body's paralyzed, but you are conscious.
Yeah. Now, that was what I kind of fought myself on initially, was did I fall asleep and was it a nightmare that I was going through? But I trailed that area that I fell asleep into my nightmare.
Right.
But then when I woke up, I remember that it was like a stormy day. I made coffee. I was all like lethargic the rest of the day. I stayed inside, and like I tend to do, I was watching horror movies. But then at the end of the night, I went out to the balcony, and I'm on the balcony, and it's raining outside.
Yeah.
And I literally was looking up, and I'm like, God. And this is all in my own subconscious that I'm speaking to myself, calling out, like, was that real? And if that was real, please give me a sign right now that I'm not like battling this and I'm crazy. And immediately, and I shit you not, I swear on my fucking soul, as soon as I think to myself, please give me a sign, lightning fucking strikes the building that is like 150 yards away, straight in front of me from my balcony, strikes the top of the roof. There's a little flame and smoke, and then the rain puts it out. And I was like, what the fuck? Like was that God?
It was real.
Was that had to have been.
It was.
Yeah, like, that had to have been the reassurance. Like, yup, you were attacked, we stepped in, we fucking helped you.
Yeah.
Then, swear to God, I also went through that exact same week after that happened. I go into the whole, did I want that to happen so bad that I caused it to strike?
Did you manifest that?
Did I?
Yeah.
And was it God answering me, or did I really want a sign so bad that I concentrated enough energy somehow into an area and it fucking... I'll never know. Nobody will ever know.
But that's how God works.
We don't even know what we are capable of. But I would rather take the latter and not take credit for even thinking that I could potentially make lightning strike just from staring at
the moment
something.
You asked for a sign, like, it's a bit too coincidental.
But that was my whole point. Was that I was asking, and I mean, right as I asked, lightning struck that shit.
But you also have to think that hasn't been the first time that God has given you a sign, so... You know?
Yeah.
It's definitely possible that it was him there. Or it there.
I am a firm believer of Christ and of God. And knowing that they can keep you safe in situations where you are dealing with devils. Mm-hmm. And I say devils because there's more than one.
Right.
As much as people want to believe that there is one devil, there are far more devils than we understand. There is one who rules them all, But there are devils everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They are the demons.
They're everywhere. At all times.
It's also why in any type of demonic scenario, when people ask at times, tell me what your name is, demon, and it says the devil, because they all are devils.
Right.
It's just a category.
They have attitude too.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I'm not telling you my name. Fuck you.
I'm getting the itch, though. I have to go out and paranormal investigate somewhere. Like, so badly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I am being called to do that shit. It has to go down again. I can't keep sitting on my hands. And it's just part of what makes me happy is searching.
Through silence.
Oh, she said it. I was just, hey. I'm just very intrigued with the afterlife because I know that
there is
it
one.
exists.
Yeah.
I've seen far too much shit on this crazy ass fucking life path that I'm on. I think we can cut it right around here.
Sounds like a good spot.
We were capable of allowing people to get to know us with our little paranormal journeys that we have been through in the past. And
there will be more to come, though.
now I hope it's far sooner than later because I need it. I've already made this well known. Like, we have to start going out and searching for areas that we can investigate. And if anybody is out there and they're listening to this and they have anything that they know around the New Jersey area that we can go and we can investigate, please hit me up in my messages. Tell me where I can potentially go and record anything and try to bring evidence to the forefront of this crazy-ass reality.
We'd appreciate it.
Very much so. And with that being said, stay safe, sleep well, and keep your wits about you.